She sat on the cold, bare floor, shivering in her torn wrapper, her eyes swollen from too much crying. A loud knock came again. Boom, boom, boom. Get up. You are going to your husband's house today, her stepmother shouted. But this wasn't marriage. It was a burial, and she was the sacrifice. In the small dusty village of Umuapara lived a girl whose name carried beauty, Amarachi. But her life was anything but beautiful. Every morning, Amarachi would fetch water, sweep the compound, and cook for her stepmother before going to the farm. Her hands were always full of blisters, yet her heart was soft like yam porridge. She had dreams of becoming a teacher, of wearing shoes without holes, and of one day marrying a man who would love her like in the stories Mama used to tell. But life had other plans. One hot afternoon, Mama Obi called her in. Amarachi, pack your things. A man wants to marry you, and you are leaving this house today. Amarachi froze. Mama, I don't understand. Who wants to marry me? She asked with fear in her voice. Shut up. A rich man, not your type. You are lucky he even looked at you. He paid bride price already. Tears rolled down Amarachi's cheeks. Her heart pounded. She didn't even know the man's name. She begged. She cried. She even knelt down. But Madame Obi was unmoved. As the sky darkened that day, so did her future. That evening, a black jeep parked in front of their compound. A tall man came out, wearing dark native clothes and sunglasses. He didn't smile, he didn't speak. Obinna, the man feared by many. Some said he once beat up a man looking at his gate. Others said his wife ran mad before she died. No one dared ask questions. Amarachi sat at the back of the car with shaky legs. No wedding, no joy, just silence. Obinna's house was like a castle, tall, fenced, with guards at the gate. But inside, it was cold like a prison. He didn't touch her, he didn't smile. He just gave orders. Don't enter my room. Don't cook unless I tell you. Don't touch my things. Amarachi cried every night. She sat alone, slept on a mattress on the floor. She felt like a slave. Then strange things began to happen. One night, while cleaning, she found a room full of pictures, gold frames, foreign awards, money stacked in boxes. She gasped. Who is this? She whispered. It was Obinna, a billionaire. Turns out Obinna was not just a rich man, he was one of the wealthiest men in the country. But after his first wife died mysteriously, he left the city and came to the village to hide his pain. He covered his wealth with darkness, hiding behind the masks of a vexed man, so no one would come close to him. But Amarachi, with her innocence and quiet strength, touched something in him. Weeks passed. One day, Amarachi cooked his favorite soup, or her soup with pounded yam, and left it by his door. He didn't eat it, but the next day, she did it again. Then again. Then one evening, she sat beside her for the first time and said softly, "Thank you for the food." It was the first time she heard his voice without anger. From then, things began to change. He bought her new clothes. He asked her to sit with him during dinner. He smiled. Slowly, Amarachi saw a different man. A broken man, not a beast. And Obinna saw a woman, not a burden, not a child, but a woman with strength, with a gentle spirit and a heart full of kindness. One night, she opened up. My wife died in an accident. I blamed myself. I hated everyone. I locked myself in sorrow. But you woke something in me. I want to start again with you. Amarachi couldn't believe it. Her heart was full. But Madam Obi heard the news that Amarachi was now the queen of a billionaire's empire, and she came crawling. "My daughter, my sweet daughter, I knew you would make me proud," she shouted, dancing and pretending to cry tears of joy. But Amarachi had changed. "You sold me like a goat. Now I am no longer your daughter." She turned her back and walked away. Obinna took Amarachi to the city. She went back to school. She became a teacher just like she always dreamed. She forgave the past but never forgot it. She taught young girls how to be strong, how to never give up on themselves, and how to survive even when life gives you stones instead of bread. And Obinna, he smiled every day, not because he was rich, but because he finally found peace in the arms of the poor girl he once scared. When news spread that Amarachi was not just rich, but married to a billionaire, Madam Obi became a laughingstock in the village. "So your stepdaughter is the one living in a mansion's house, and you were busy beating her like a goat." Shame burned down through Madam Obi like fire. She lost friends, she lost respect, she lost everything, but she wasn't ready to lose Amarachi's money. She went to a native doctor. "I want her to come back to me, crawling, and if she refuses, let her suffer." The native doctor gave her a black nylon bag filled with herbs and poison. He whispered instructions into her ear. Madam Obi traveled to the city. Amarachi was glowing. She had just returned from her first teacher's seminar. Obinna, now relaxed and loving, hugged her tightly at the door. "You look beautiful up there," he whispered. "You are just saying that because you love me," she laughed. Their joy was interrupted when the gatekeeper rushed in. "Sir, there is a woman at the gate," she says. "She's Amarachi's mother." Obinna frowned. "Let her in." Madam Obi stepped in, acting humble, carrying 2 baskets. "My daughter, my heart has missed you. I have been sick. I have come to say sorry." She knelt down, cried fake tears, and begged Amarachi. Obinna remained suspicious, but Amarachi, soft-hearted as ever, let her in. That night, Madam Obi offered to cook. "Let me cook ohasu for my daughter and my in-law." Inside the pot, she added herbs, but what she didn't know was that Mama Ejiro was the wise old woman from the village, had warned Amarachi in a dream. "Don't eat from the hand that once beat you." Some apologists carry knives in their pockets. So Amarachi faked her eating. That night, Obinna started feeling dizzy. His chest burned. He collapsed. "Call the doctor now," Amarachi screamed. At the hospital, the doctor said he had poisoned in his system. Amarachi was broken. Who would do this? Then she remembered. She rushed home, opened the dustbin, and found the black nylon bag. It was still filled with remnants of the herb. She confronted Madam Obi. "You tried to kill my husband?" Madam Obi dropped to the floor weeping. "I wanted to bring you back to the village. You left me behind. I suffered because of you. I suffered because of you too," Amarachi said quietly, "and I forgive you, but you came again with hate." Obinna woke up 2 days later. He held Amarachi's hand and said, "You saved me again." Obinna had Madam Obi arrested, but Amarachi pleaded, "Don't send her to the prison. Just send her back to the village. Let her live with her shame." And so, Madam Obi was escorted back to Mokbara with nothing but her wrapper and bitterness. One rainy afternoon, while Amarachi and Obinna sat watching the sky, a voice came from the gates. "My name is Chidi. I am looking for Amarachi." Amarachi stood up. Chidi? Her childhood friend? The boy who once gave her roasted corn when she was starving now stood tall, wearing a fine shirt and holding a letter. Obinna looked at him closely. "Who is this man?" Chidi smiled. "I came to return something. A note Amarachi wrote it when we were young. She said, 'If I ever leave this village, I'll come back for you.' I waited, but you never came back." Obinna's eyes narrowed. Amarachi's heart beat fast. Why now? She asked softly. Because I still love you. Amarachi stood between two men. Chidi, her childhood friend, first love, the one who once saved her from hunger. Obinna, her husband, the one who saved her from shame and gave her a new life. Rain soaked her dress, but her heart was heavier than water. You are married now, Chidi finally said, lowering his eyes, but I came because I never stopped believing in you. Amarachi stepped back. She wiped her tears. Chidi, I am grateful, but I am not that hungry village girl anymore. I am a woman now, a wife. I can't betray the man who stood by me. Obinna stared at her silently. His chest tightened. He had thought she would choose Ochidi, but she didn't. Amarachi turned to him, held his hand. I didn't marry you because of money. I stayed because you became my peace. Even when the storm came again, you didn't leave me, so I will never leave you. Obinna pulled her close, his heart softening. Chidi smiled sadly. Then I am proud of you, Amarachi. You became the woman we all hoped for. He turned and walked away in the rain, a silent goodbye. Months passed. Amarachi started having her own clarity organizations for poor girls like her. She called it From Dust to Gold. She built small schools in rural villages. She paid for young girls to learn, grow, and rise above poverty. Obinna stood beside her as her strongest supporter. They visited Amarachi's old village, Omokpara. Women wept when they saw her in a convoy, dressed in a simple native way, holding books instead of gold. Even Madam Obi, now living in an abandoned hut, saw her from afar and fell to her knees. Forgive me, she whispered. Amarachi walked up to her and handed her a wrapper and food. I already did, but I will never come back to live under your roof. Amarachi stood in front of a large audience. She was giving a speech titled, My Pain Became My Power. She ended the speech with these words, I was once broken, rejected, and called nobody. I married a man who hated me at first, but love changed him. And now, I am a living proof that where you start doesn't matter. What matters is that you never give up, even when the world does. The crowd gave a standing ovation. In the front row, Obinna stood up, tears in his eyes. He climbed the stage and, in front of everyone, knelt down and proposed again with a diamond ring. Will you marry me again, Amarachi? This time, not by force, but by choice. She laughed and shouted, Yes! Comfort rained down. They kissed and the screen faded out. These are some beautiful moral lessons you will learn from the story. Never judge a person by their situation or background. Amarachi was mocked because she was poor and had no one to fight for her, but the same girl became a queen in a billionaire's house. Your today doesn't define your tomorrow. Respect everyone no matter where they come from. Love can change even the hardest heart. Forgiveness is strength, not weakness. Don't let your past stop you from building the best future. Even though Amarachi came from a suffering, she used her story to inspire other poor girls and started a charity called From Dust to Gold. Your pain can become your power if you don't give up. Choose loyalty over temptation. Life is full of surprises. The same girl who was once rejected, insulted, and thrown out like rag became a queen in a palace she never dreamed of. Not because she had money, not because she had power, but because she had something in the world desperately needs, a good heart. Sometimes, the people who hurt you the most are the ones who need love the most. Amarachi didn't just marry a billionaire, she married a broken man who needed healing, and she became his peace. In the end, It wasn't money that changed her life. It was patience, loyalty, and grace. So wherever you are today, remember, your pain can become your power. Never stop believing in yourself, because one day, the same people who mocked you will sit in silence while you shined. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. This is more than just a story. This is a reminder that with faith, anything is possible. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.